20, the difference of two rational number is negative 7.5. Can I translate that into a mathematical equation? Difference. What does difference mean? Minus. Good. So x minus y equals negative 7.5. Okay. But I want to create a table of value. And when I have a table like this, it's a little hard to create. So for all equations, what you want to do is rearrange it so that it solves for y. So solving for y means I'm going to move that x over. So it becomes negative x minus 7.5. Okay. I don't want negative y. I want just positive y. So what do I do with that negative sign? That negative sign is the same as negative 1. Alright, so what do I do with that negative 1 now? Multiply or divide. Divide everything by negative 1. Okay, so divide this by negative 1, divide this by negative 1. So what's my final equation then? Negative x divided by negative 1, I just get x, positive x. And then negative 7.5 divided by negative 1. Yeah, so plus 7.5. Okay, so there's my equation in y equals form. Create a table of value. Okay, x, y. So let's say this one says make a table to show 5 possible values. So okay, so they want 5 numbers. What's the easiest number? What's the easiest number in the world? Even easier. Zero. Right. So easiest numbers to use for your table of value is just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the easiest numbers to use. When x is 0, what's your y value? 0 plus 7.5? 7.5. Alright, your equation is y equals x plus 7.5. And then now you're just subbing in each of the value for x. 1 plus 7.5? Yeah. 8.5. 2 plus 7.5. And then, keep going. And then, right. Alright. When you take a look at your table, you should see a pattern. So in this case, my pattern is plus 1 every time. Okay. If you check your table and it doesn't follow a pattern, it means you did something wrong. So make sure, even though it seems like, oh, it's so obvious, do a quick little check. Make sure you're not, you didn't make a silly mistake anywhere. Okay, and then now your graph. Okay, something like this. Okay, so your x and your y. Okay, so for my x, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. For my y value, what should I go up by? Okay, I need to fit numbers between 7.5 and 11.5 in here. So what should I go up by? There's no right or wrong answer. Jenny?
1.
Go by ones, okay? But if I go by ones, I need at least like 12 squares up here. I don't have enough room. Bernard?
Go from 7, but go up by 1.
Ooh, start from 7. Okay. If I am starting at 7, this is what I need to do. I need to draw a broken line like this to show that I'm skipping numbers between 0 and 7. Alright, so I can skip numbers, but I need to see this. Otherwise, your graph does not make sense at all. Alright, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that. Okay? I need to see this broken line. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So 0, 7.5, 1, 8.5, 2, 9.5, 3, 10.5, 11.5, like that. Okay. When I line it up, what should I get? When I draw it, I should get
A straight line.
a straight line. Okay. So since it's a straight line, is this linear or non-linear? Linear, right? You can see the linear. Okay, so you see the word line and the word linear. So this is a linear relation. When you draw your line, it does extend past both ends with an arrow because your line does go on forever. It doesn't only stop between 0 and 4. Okay. 21. So that was number 20. Number 21, I have fractions. So I'll just pick and choose ones to do. Okay. So I know I have fractions here, but my y, I already have a y. So all I actually need to do is move that half x over so that it's y equal. So again, remember what we did up here is we wanted to solve for y. We want to isolate that y so it's y equal. It's so much easier when we do our table and when we do our graph. So to make this y equal, all I have to do is move this over. When I move the half x over, what does it become?
Negative.
Negative half x. Good. And then plus 4. So there we go. There's my equation. Just one step, I have my equation. X and y. Create my table of value. Okay. Here, they only need you to do like 3 numbers, is it? Okay. Easiest number? 0. Okay. And then here's the tricky part. Alright. I could do 0, 1, and 2, but here's a trick. Here's a trick. I have a denominator of 2. So if I actually go by steps of 2, I can always get whole integers. So instead of doing 0, 1, and 2, I'm going to do 0, 2, and 4. Okay, we'll see what happens when I do that. Okay, negative a half times 0 plus 4, what do you get? Anything times 0 is? Plus 4? 4. Okay. And then here, negative a half times 2. So negative a half is negative 1 divided by 2. Okay. Times 2. And then plus 4. I get 3. Alright, so this way, I will always get an integer as my y value. So this is a little trick. Keep this in mind when you get into grade 10. It will really help you when you graph a lot of lines. Okay. And then same thing, negative 1 over 2. Right, negative 0.5 times 4. Okay. And then plus 4. I get the answer 2. Okay, what's my pattern here? Going down by 1, so minus 1. Good. Okay, do a grid. Since it's all positive number, I can just do a L graph. Okay, X, Y. So 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 and 3. So 2 and 3. And then 4 and 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 0 right here. Okay. When I connect the dots, I get a linear relation. I get a line dropping to the right. Okay. Okay, looking at these two equations, okay, take a look at these two equations. Okay. How do you think I can tell right off the bat if my line rises to the right or drops to the right? by looking at the equation. Leandro? No? Okay. Jenny?
Because if the x is like positive, right, then it goes upwards. But if the x is negative, then it goes downwards.
Perfect. Okay, keep that in mind. Later when we do slope, that's basically your slope. And your slope tells you the direction of the line. Okay? Let's just do one more from the homework. Let's do E. Alright, 21E. Okay. 1/3 x plus 1/2y equals -1. Oh, sorry, wait. 1/3 x plus equals -3. Okay, equals -3. Okay, so that's this. Okay, so in 21a, notice I just had to move over the half x because this is already y equal. But here, I have the 1/2 y. So I can't just move this over. Alright, so what I can do is what we are used to doing. How do I get rid of my denominators? How do I get rid of denominators? Yeah, and so in this case, 2 and 3 is 6. So multiply everything by 6 times all the terms by 6. Okay. So Armin, 1 times 6 divided by 3? 2. So 2x. Alright. 1 times 6 divided by 2? So plus 3y. And then -3 times 6? 3 times 6. -3 times 6. -18. Okay? A lot of time people forget to multiply this this number over here. Okay, so make sure you remember that. And now I can solve for y. Again, every time you're rearranging to solve for y. Move the 2x over, so I get 3y equals -2x minus 18. And now I divide everything by 3. Divide this by 3, divide this by 3. Okay, so my equation, y equals -2/3 x. And then -18 divided by 3 is -6. Okay. So just looking at this equation, because it's negative, is my line gonna be rising or dropping? Dropping. Good. Alright. So if you graph it and it shows you otherwise, again, you know you made a mistake. Okay. So x and y. So the little trick that I taught you. Okay. I just need 3 numbers. Easiest number, 0. Okay. And then what? What should I choose? You read? 3 and 6. Where'd you get the 3 from? The denominator. Okay, because it has a denominator of 3, so when I go by 3's, I'll always get an integer when I solve. Alright, so -2 divided by 3 is this, times it by 0, and then minus 6, I get -6. Okay. -2 divided by 3, and then times 3, minus 6, I get -8. Okay. And then -2 divided by 3 times 6 minus 6, Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? I'm just replacing the x with the number for each of these. Okay, and I get -10. Okay, what pattern do I see here? Yep. Goes down by 2 each time. Good. Alright. Let's draw our grid. I'm going to do a T-graph because there is negative numbers. Okay. Okay, so X, Y, -1, 2. Ooh, actually, no. I don't have enough room if I do that. Okay, so for my X, I could skip every 3 if I want, or I can skip every 2, it doesn't matter. So let's say I do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, -2, -4, -6, 2, 4, 6, 8, and a negative. Okay. So first point, 0, -6. 0, -6. Second point, 3, -8. So 3 on the X, -8 on the Y. They meet right here. And then 6, -10. Okay. Let's say I made a mistake and I plot that point. Okay, sorry. Let's just say. Okay, let's just say I made a mistake and I plot the point right here. Okay? How do I know it's wrong? When I try to graph it. When I try to... Yep.
It won't be linear.
Yeah, it doesn't line up. Okay? In a linear relation, these are all lines. Equation of lines. So your points should all line up. Even if one point it doesn't match up, it does mean you made a mistake. So in this case, I realize, oh, doesn't line up. Don't try to draw the line like so it means this point, I probably plotted it wrong, and then when I check, oh yeah, I did. It should be right here. And then you can draw your line, connect the dots, add in the arrows. There's your linear relation. Okay. Okay, so that was the homework. I know there were a lot of graphs that you had to draw, but that's part of the practice. What you could do next time when in the homework, you can just do one big grid and then plot all the lines on it. Okay, that will save you some time. Okay, are we better now with the homework? Because I heard that a lot of people had some trouble towards the end. Okay, better? Okay, so that was the homework. I did record this, so you should be able to review it if you need to. Okay, so today's lesson, as I said, short lesson today only. 2 examples. Page 10, please. Okay, so since you guys know how to graph now, we're just gonna match. So homework tonight should be a lot faster. You're just matching the graphs. Okay, so example 1 on page 10. Example 1. Okay, you have to match the graphs with the equations. So for graph A right here, okay, what I want to do is choose a point on this graph. So I'm going to choose this point right here. Okay, that point. Can you tell me the coordinates of that point? So for graph A, what is that coordinate right there? Adihi? 1 and 2. That's right. Don't just say 1 or don't just say 2. A coordinate has 2 numbers, always a x and a y value. Alright, so when you read this number of, it's 1 and 2 with bracket and a comma in between. So looking at these equations, It's saying when x is 1, you'll get the value of y equals 2. So which one suggests that? Adrian? Cajun? Yeah, y equals 2x. When x is 1, 2 times 1, you get 2. So there you go. That's graph A. Okay, what about graph B? Graph B, I have this equation right here. Now, without even having to choose any points, I can tell by the direction. Alright, so which equation will it be if it's dropping to the right? Cajun? Yeah, negative 3x, because it's negative. It's negative, I know, it's just y equals negative 3x. Okay. And then this one, let's say I choose this point right here. Okay, so for graph C, what is that point? What is that point right here? If I were to name the coordinate. Okay, this point right here. Armin? 4, 4, good job. And you told me both numbers, not just 4. That's why I chose that point. 4 and 4. So it means whatever x is, it equals y. So which of the 3 equations can it be? Y equals x. Good job. Okay. What do all 3 equations have in common? What do all 3 graphs have in common? Okay. Is there a point that they all share? Badar?
0.
I don't want one number.
0,
0,
0.
0. All of these have the coordinates 0, 0. It goes through the origin. Alright, why is that? Okay, based on the equation, why do they all go through the origin?
Because their b is 0 is nothing and it's not there.
Yeah, there's no constant. So when there's no constant, it means that it goes through 0, 0. Remember what constant is? Constant is like the add or subtract number afterwards. So in this one, it was plus 7.5. This one was the plus 4. So these ones right here, there's no constant afterwards. So if there's no constant, it always, always, always goes through 0, 0. Okay. So having that said, this one, y equals 3x minus 4, do we have a constant? Yeah. What is my constant here? Negative 4. So my constant is negative 4, which means that is my y-intercept. Alright. In other words, when x is 0, your y is negative 4. Okay, that's what it means. When there's a constant, it means that's your y-intercept. So, in other words, when x is 0, you'll get y is negative 4. Right? 3 times 0, 0 minus 4. You get that. So looking at this graph right here is not the best grid. Okay, let me just draw this right here. And oopsie, I messed up. Alright, that's the x-axis and that's the y-axis. Oops. Okay, which of the graph have the point 0, negative 4? Which is right here. 0, negative 4. Which graph? The third one. So graph I. The third one. Alright, that's the only graph that has the point 0, negative 4. Okay. Later on, we will go into more of slope and y-intercept. Alright. So keep that in mind. It will help when we get into talking about those. Okay, so that's the lesson. That's it. I spent about 20 minutes actually taking up yesterday's homework, and then today's lesson was only 5 minutes. All right. So your homework tonight would be much easier because you don't have to graph. You're just matching it. Matching. Okay. I was gonna give you guys less work, but because I was not satisfied with the homework habit you guys did yesterday, 3 to 13. You guys are doing all of it. Alright, I am gonna come around to check at the end of the period to see how much you guys have done. Alright, and then when I feel that I can trust you guys again, then I won't do checking every single class. Okay? So number 3 to 13, you guys have a good 35-40 minutes right now to get a head start on these, and around 11:30 I'll come around to check to see how much you guys have done. Okay.